Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. I frickin' knew it. This is exactly what I said. We got all these Democrats going on and on with the same ridiculous shtick, all these talking points all built around this concept that Donald Trump is a fascist, and that would essentially imply that he views himself as above the people. He has no interest in democratic will, democratic say, in what the American people want, and so he's just doing his own thing and doing it by force. But you know, it's kinda hard to make that argument when nearly 60% of American voters polled absolutely support Donald Trump and his National Guard crackdown in LA. How can you be a fascist if you're the president of the United States and you're simply making good on the mandate? Folks, we got a poll here from Insider Advantage that just completely decimated the Democrats and their pathetic little game here. Let me show you guys the polling data and some other interesting clips that I think are all related. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so take a look at the polling data right here. Insider Advantage, 1,000 likely voters. And the question asked is, do you approve of Trump's National Guard deployment? 59% said yes, 39% saying no. A plus 20 positive spread supporting the President of the United States. Derp? Fascism? Really? The president who got democratically elected to do exactly what he is doing what he promised the people, and 60% of respondents support what he's doing. We got clear majorities here, democratic will territory, and the Democrats have the audacity to tell us that Donald Trump is acting like a tyrant or a fascist. These people have lost the plot. It's absolutely insane. They've been telling us for the last month, well, really for the last decade, that Donald Trump is the core of all problems. He is the root of all evil. Donald Trump is the problem here, not Democrats. Donald Trump. But that's another narrative that I find quite confusing, considering all of this chaos, all of this stuff is happening where? In Democrat cities, in Democrat states. It certainly isn't happening in Florida. I mean, they tried in Tampa, but then a bunch of MAGA patriots rushed the streets and basically shut the anti-ICE riot down within the hour. Yeah, I don't know, I'm telling you, I'm noticing a very clear common denominator. And what do you think that is? Just ask yourself the question, is there a D next to the name? Is there a D next to the state? And there you go, you've identified the frickin' problem. Trump's not the problem. Karen Bass openly supporting illegal migration and running cover for black-clad terrorists on the streets who are running around assaulting federal officers, that's the frickin' problem. That's the void in leadership. The absolute audacity of these Democrats to be saying the things that they've been saying. And now, speaking of that concept, actually I'm going to use that as the perfect segue to these next clips. Speaking of lying, speaking of gaslighting, speaking of saying absolutely insane, egregious things, look what Nancy Pelosi just said.
I do want to say two more things. One is, when there is a gathering, a large gathering of people, the anarchists see it as an opportunity and they move in. So always have to be careful whether you see a burned car, a broken window, or whatever it is. It may be the exuberance of the moment, but it may be the anarchist setting in. Secondly, and you know this to be true, and I haven't seen it really reflected so much in the press. On January 6th, with violence against the Constitution, against the Congress, and against the United States Capitol, we begged the President of the United States to send in the National Guard. He would not do it. Not only would he not do it, when law enforcement people were being harmed, some later died, he would not send it in when an instigation that an insurrection that he incited was causing damage to those assigned to protect the Capitol and the Constitution that day, to accept the results of the Electoral College. That day, he didn't do it.
Yeah, Nancy really went there. How dare Donald Trump deploy the National Guard when he refused the National Guard on January 6th? Really, Nancy? Donald Trump refused the National Guard because I'm pretty sure what actually happened was you, as the then Speaker of the House, were in charge of Capitol security, and the Trump administration wanted to get 10,000 National Guard troops on scene, but you and your Sergeant at Arms, which is verified by text message, denied it. Holy frickin' moly. Then we had Maxine Waters hit us with this gem.
And even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. Nobody was shot, nobody was killed. Get it in your head. And so when martial law is called, what are you going to say? I missed the point. Don't miss the point, you all. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence. I was on the street. I know. And I went from downtown detention back out into the community, talking to people what happened in Paramount, what happened in Compton, what happened in Inglewood. So, first of all, get it straight. And don't just rely on what you're being told or the few incidents that you saw.
Don't believe the clips, she says. Oh, it's all peaceful protests in California. Yeah, it's a peaceful protest if you go live under a rock with Patrick frickin' Star from SpongeBob. But for us living in the real world with eyeballs, seeing the video footage, yeah, very clearly, it's been a week of riots. What's the next argument? Yeah, sure, we have a bunch of thugs all over the streets, smashing up stores and stealing all the inventory.
What happened? What happened?
But hey, that's just any other day in California. It's not like it's something new or out of the ordinary. Obviously, California is in complete freaking chaos, and Donald Trump is totally justified as the president of the United States to step in and do something. And you know, again, maybe if you Democrats did your damn jobs, like what we're seeing from Republican governors and mayors, well then maybe Donald Trump wouldn't have to get involved. But obviously, we know exactly how you Democrat leaders operate unless Xi Jinping is coming in town.
Folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true.
Unless the Chinese emperor is in town, you people don't do anything. No, quite to the contrary. You fight against the common sense approach. You fight against enforcing the law. Like in this case where President Trump deployed the National Guard, and what did Gavin Newsom do? He sued the president to try to block his National Guard deployment, which, by the way, a judge just slapped down.
Judge has denied the state of California's request to stop Trump from using the California National Guard to keep the peace and keep order during these protests.
Brutally denied, but again, it just goes to show the Democrats are the ones causing the problem. Trump's coming in trying to fix it as businesses are being ransacked and federal officers are being assaulted, as federal property and public spaces are being destroyed, and the Democrat response is to sue Donald Trump and call him a fascist. Who the hell is voting for these people? Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.